video recording here. I'm reviewing Wicked. Wicked Part One. It should really be called because it's Act One. So the Wicked movie that just came out is actually just Act One of the stage show. Um, so yeah, it literally in the movie when the title card shows up, it then shows Part One. They just movies don't call themselves Part One because then people don't go. Uh, but for a Part One movie though, a lot better than I expected. A lot better than I expected. So I saw Wicked the musical like a decade ago. It was like 2014 or 2015. I don't remember. It's been a long time, and I haven't really really liked it, but I haven't thought about it that much since. So I don't really remember the plot. I didn't really remember the plot. I didn't really remember any of the songs except Defying Gravity. And honestly, like, no, that's not true. But I still do like Defying Gravity. All of the other Wicked songs. There's a gulf in like quality to me. And I'm not that the other Wicked songs are bad. I just Defying Gravity is on another level. Uh, but anyway, I'm familiar with the musical, but not none of it was fresh. So I was kind of just going in not really knowing. I knew that the movie was going to end with Defying Gravity, which was a damn good place to end, but we'll get to that. Uh, but I wasn't sure, like a 2.5 hour movie, and it's only Act One of a musical. Like, how is this gonna go? Uh, and surprisingly, it went pretty well. Like, I think ending on Defying Gravity. I guess I'm just gonna keep going back to this. It's a smart choice because it makes the whole movie feel less like setup. Because the problem with Part One movies is that it's like, oh, you just watch this whole movie that's just set up for a different movie. But Defying Gravity is a nice, like, it's a climax. It's a climax of the overall story, but it within the context of Act One, or that first movie, because it's basically Wicked Act One, that Part One Act One, whatever. Uh, it serves nicely as a resolution too, like specifically for like Act One, Part One of the for this movie. It serves as like the resolution of Elphaba's character journey throughout the movie, and I feel like that's really Elphaba and Glinda's relationship journey, Elphaba's individual journey, all of that is really culminated in the Defying Gravity sequence, which is excellent. It's peak. It's peak. Uh, like that sequence did a lot to like elevate the movie for me. I think because it definitely is. It's a 2.5 hour long Act One of Wicked. Like, I feel like it's about as good as it can be with that padded out length. And it honestly did not even feel like I didn't feel like they didn't add a bunch of stuff. It was just like, okay, I feel like what they did was musical movie adaptations usually cut some stuff. Maybe they don't cut full songs, but they cut, my hand is just like white because of the reflection of the light over there. That's interesting. Um Part 1 is just like this. I can't focus on it now. God damn it. I'm turning my other monitor away from me. So I can't see my OBS anymore. Um, that good? Yeah. Okay. I just keep going. But where was I? Part 1, 2.5 hour long. There's too much Glinda. There's too much Galinda. Garlinda. It's not like they added a bunch of stuff for her. It doesn't really feel like they added anything. They just, didn't do what musicals usually do. Here's where I was going with this. They didn't do what musical movie adaptations usually do, which is like cut down any of the fat, or like cut out any of the songs or dialogue sequences, or like change things up. It's, at least I think, I don't again, I don't remember that well, but I assume from what I understand, that it's pretty much just Act One as it is in the stage play, but like on film, so it all takes a little longer. You know, like it's Act One given with all its songs, but also full movie length like scenes. Uh, and it does really well, like telling this story of Elphaba and Glinda in college. I feel like fleshing out that period is a good thing. It just does lead to like sometimes the movie feels like a Glinda movie, like a Galinda movie. It doesn't help that it opens with "No one mourns for the wicked" and it's like the flash forward after Elphaba's dead, and so Glinda's the character that's sort of a focal point in that song, and so then she's sort of like she narrator transitions us into the story. Now, she's not a narrator the whole time. Like that goes away after that intro. Uh, but it still does kind of feel like her movie sometimes, where it's like we sort of start out in her focal point. We always see whenever she's in a scene, we always see her viewpoint of what's happening. It feels like because they have Ariana Grande as Glinda and she's very famous, it feels like they didn't cut anything filmed related to her. Uh, Whereas sometimes I found myself wanting to see more of Elphaba, more of the animals, more of even Jonathan Bailey's character Fiyero, who would totally not be likable. Like the performance makes that character likable, at least in this Act One section. And honestly, like anything else, I feel like there was so much of the movie is about Galinda and Elphaba's relationship, and that stuff is all really good. But I could have used like a little less of that and a little more of the other things. And I'm sure with some of that's in the way the musical is structured. I'm sure in Act Two we're going to get more of those other things because with the wizard and the politicking and the animals and those plot lines. I don't remember exactly where Part Two goes, but I imagine it has more of that. And if it didn't have, I feel like they should add more of that. Like Act Two, I feel like from like Act Two could actually benefit from that pacing in from the 2.5 hour like stretched out pacing. I think because I don't know. I remember the plot moving pretty fast in Act Two, and the plot does not move fast in this movie. It takes its time ingratiating you to its characters and its vibe and the songs. The songs are great. Everybody does a great job in this movie. Uh, Jeff Goldblum as the wizard is a very fun casting. Um, Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba. Oh my god! Like, wow, you get somebody to play the lead role in these movies that can sing, that can freaking belt. Like, she might have outdone the Broadway version of Defying Gravity. That last scene is insane. Like, that last scene really sort of like washes away any that last scene very much washed away any feelings of like boredom over the movie's pacing that I initially had. And Ariana Grande is great too. I've been saying I wanted less of her in the movie, but that's more of that's a like pacing screen time thing, and the fact that Glinda as a character is just kind of obnoxious. Like Ariana Grande plays that character very well. Is she like that in real life? I haven't met her. Who's to say? But maybe doesn't matter. Regardless, she plays that part very very well, and it doesn't feel like she's there to get a paycheck or like dip her toes back into acting. When like a celebrity musician is like, I'm gonna act now, and then they're like mid. No, there's not that. She really matched everyone else in the cast. Jonathan Bailey, like I said, is Fiyero, making that character likable. Ethan Slater is Bach is sort of, kind of not a very fleshed out character. Bach and Nessa, Elphaba's sister, get like the starts of storylines in this movie. That's where you really feel the Act One-ness of it all. Is that every plot line that isn't Elphaba and Glinda's relationship and Elphaba, like any plotline that isn't explicitly like those two gets like the start is like the start of a plot that's clearly gonna be followed up on in the next movie, and that's where you get everything that isn't their relationship does feel like setup, and that is kind of annoying, like it is what it is, uh, but if you know going in it's at part one, it's a good adaptation. It's a good adaptation, and I like. It remains to be seen with part two whether like the decision to split it into two movies will be a good thing or not. But after watching Elphaba take to the skies and soar, defying gravity, I can certainly say that I'm excited for the second one. So, yeah. Arrivederci.